Okay, now like I said before, I'm sorry. Ooh, let me move my chair. My little tripod that I used to film up close or when I did my crystal grids, I don't know where it's at. So I'm stuck with my bigger one. What can you do? I know I usually like to be a little more on top, but this is what I am working with today. So, and another thing that somebody might ask is this is a shower curtain that I got from Big Lots. It's a little thicker than just your normal plastic, and I find that my acrylic paints, after you've done a project, you can kind of peel them off, you know? So you can kind of clean up your paint and start over and it not always look a mess. So that's why I picked a shower curtain, but you can use whatever you want. Over here I have a trash sack, so whatever you come across will work. All right, let's start this off with, we're gonna flood the background with our white. This is already pre-mixed. I mark some of them. If I don't use all my paints, I'll save my little bottles that are empty and put my paint that's mixed back in here, and I'll mark on the top mixed. It's an easy way not to waste paint. Another good tip, I have this little handy dandy jar opener in my art room because I have weak hands. I am getting arthritis already, and I can never open a jar or a paint tube after it's closed up and dries and cakes and crusts. So, just Tony tip right there. All right, so let's get going with this. We are going to go like that. This is a plastic little spatula thing, I guess. I've had this forever. And if anybody that is watching this is like, gee, I want to do that at home, I say try it. You know, you can message me down below if you need some tips. But you're never going to know if you like it if you don't try this. And it's, if you can just get the paint mixing down, then the rest of it, you don't have to have a lot of art skill to do. Something that I'm learning is you want to make sure the stuff goes around your canvas. I mean your boards or your canvas. Because it makes it interesting when these colors flow off the sides. So the longest part of this is going to be getting paint down over the sides. Just like frosting a cake, people. But my first few pieces, I didn't have it go completely over the edges. And there was just something missing. I like the look of when it goes across the edges. And as I'm finishing this, you can do this with canvas. That's what most people use. I like these boards. I get them at Michael's because sometimes the canvases, they if they're not stretched completely tight, it'll bow down in the middle. And then your paint will pool. We don't want pooling paint, do we? Okay. We got that side. All right, so let's smooth this out. Now, sometimes at this step, I will take my little burner and I'll pop the bubbles that are in here. But for what we're going to be doing, I don't need to be that precise with it. So I'm just going to set that off to the side. Now, this one, we're not going to be using a cup and flipping anything. I might show how to do that at another time. We're going to do like a drag. That makes sense. I'm trying to think if my camera's up that way, which way do I want to drag so you can see it the best. I think I'm going to do it like upside down for you folks. I always stir these up. Okay, so I'm going to start not at the bottom because as you we're going to put more white at the bottom when we're done. And we're going to drag the white up over these colors. So by the way, if you're worried about wasting paint, this is not the project for you. Actually, I don't want a large stripe across this going up. I'm just going to kind of go like that. That. We've already got our gold. Did I add that teal color or did it disappear already? No, I didn't. That's right there. Okay. All right. So we've got some color laid down. Another tip is to wear gloves, which I have forgotten to do. Most times I forget to put the gloves on, and then I have fake nails, obviously, and acrylic paints will raise hell with them. So, okay, now, next step is we're going to put a lot of white at the bottom here. I'm going to flood that little section down there with a lot of white. Okay. We're going to take our paper towel, we're going to wet it. By the way, my white base does not have any silicone in it. Okay, we've got our paper towel. I'm going to kind of hold it and make it taut a little bit, like this, and we're just going to drag upward. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Looks pretty nice so far. Getting some cool cells. See what happens when we got that silicone in there? All those cells are formed. Now this is where this little guy comes in play. We're going to heat those up. I'm going to bust some more cells. I don't know what the story is over there at the side. I don't know what's going on right here. Maybe I just drug off too much paint. We're going to move some paint over there. Yeah, so let's try to move some of the paint without disrupting too much. Yeah. I just dug too far down on the sides. So that is my mistake. I don't really know how to fix it without making it look crappy. All right. Sometimes if you put some paint down, it'll help it flow. So we're going to try that. I normally don't do this to a piece that I did the drag on, but you know. So I'm not really sure. I know I got this out to the edges, which looks better, but I think I lost all the interesting stuff in the middle. So we're going to try this completely over. Why not, right? It's just paint. Okay. Let's see if we can do this one more time. One more again. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this alone now. It doesn't look as interesting as the first drag was. The colors kind of mixed a little too much for my liking, but it does look better on the sides. The first one, it was just weird. You could tell I pushed down too hard on the sides, which I kind of did that time too, but I think that's just from the first time I scraped it. You know, and this is a learning process, but we do have some really neat looking cells down in here. So yeah, I'm going to let this dry off to the side, and we'll see what it looks like. You know, with some varnish on here, I might really like it. But we'll just have to see. So yeah, there's the first guy. I don't have a way of putting my camera back any farther, so I am sorry about that. Oh, and another thing before I go any farther, my little boards, I put push pins in here. You see that? Push pins to keep it off the mess, up and out of the mess, so I can pick it up easier after I'm done slapping around. So this next guy is going to be a little different, but let's start by flooding the background as normal. And I'm going to take a paintbrush and get the sides. I put it on pretty thick and messy because, like I said, we kind of want it. If there's paint down instead of like something dry, it flows better over the edge. So that's mainly why I'm doing it. It's got a glop there. That's not cool. Cool at all. And some of the paint from underneath is kind of glopping up. It's kind of coming through. I thought when there's oil in these paints, I wash them with dish soap. But it looks like maybe I didn't get it good enough. Oh well. Well, these are practice ones, right? It doesn't matter. All in the name of practicing. Okay, so for this one, I'm doing something a little different here. We're going to do that, do this, get some neat drips going. Now, I'm actually taking off these gloves for this part because I don't want to get my hair dryer all icky. Alright, let me move the paint away from the hair dryer. Alright, I've only seen this done. This is my first attempt at doing this, but let's try it out. Yeah. Oh, actually, no. I want to put more paint around this, sorry. There's not enough paint on here to do what I want to do. Like I said, if you get anxiety when you waste paint, this is not the project for you. Right. where I'm getting my little straw. Okay. Now I kind of like those ridges there. And let's take our paint gun, and because there's paint underneath that white, so technically it should kind of pop up in weird places, but let's see what will happen. Okay, we definitely have some really neat looking cell action here. I don't know, like I said, I'm going to kind of mess with the straw a little bit here. Hopefully I don't ruin it. Okay. Right, that's definitely looking pretty cool. I think I'm going to leave this one be. I like it. There's some really awesome looking cell action happening in here. I do, I like it a lot. So I'm going to leave this one be. Once I get them done, or when it's dried, I will insert a picture at the end of this video. So, please let me know if you like this kind of video for today. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. I thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm not an expert at this, but I hope somebody enjoyed it and got something out of it. Yeah, comment below if you think you're going to try this. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.